what is it about polo that is like a hard drug? I mean, you only need to try it once to be hooked forever, right?
Yeah,
what is it?
I'm not really sure how to put it, but it is a hard drug. You try it once, you get crazy. There are lots of things that make you feel like you have to try again and do it again, and it just catches you badly. And I think it's a combination of riding, team game, and ball game, which just is like overwhelming.
Yeah, and for people that know nothing about polo, give us the basics. How this whole thing works, the game.
Well, you're sitting on a horse, traveling quite fast.
Yeah, very fast.
Very fast. Trying to hit a ball, which is only about like 8 centimeters in diameter.
Yeah.
With the stick or the mallet, with a cigar on it, which you try and hit the ball with. You're going fast. You're playing a team game.
Yeah.
You're on 4 aside on a polo field, which is 300 by 200 meter size.
Okay.
And you try to put the ball into a goal.
Yeah.
Working together as a team.
Okay.
And then you have to going fast and trying to do that is what makes it
quite difficult.
Very difficult. Yeah.
Thomas, polo today is becoming pretty popular, but it wasn't the kind of a sport that you would get exposed to in the schoolyard when you were growing up. when you were growing up, right?
Right.
For you, it was more a family thing.
Yeah.
So tell me about this and tell me about the Winter polo team.
Well, when I was small, obviously polo was not that popular. It was not very spread, and I grew up in Africa, so not here.
Okay. What about in Africa?
In Zambia, in Lusaka, and that's where my dad also picked up polo at the age when I was at age 5 years old.
Right.
I was riding by then already because Mum had a polo school there.
Yeah.
So we were like into the riding business already all the time. And when my dad picked up polo, I was 5. My brothers were only 2.5 years younger than me.
All right.
So we grew up with the game, and my dad taught us all, and we've also played several matches and tournaments as a family team.
Yeah.
So it's been very exciting. All my life it's been sort of branded with polo.
And how did you feel the day you became a 5-goal polo player and became the best in Germany?
That was quite amazing. I was still obviously quite young then, and I was very excited about it.
Yeah.
It was a bit of a surprise at the time. I wouldn't have thought I would have achieved it already then.
Yeah.
But I was going well and hard, and everybody was also already, I had sort of input from a lot of friends saying, you're playing really well, and you supposedly probably be the best player in Germany one day.
Yeah.
But that was nice. Quite soon was quite an exciting day.
Polo, like most equestrian sports, polo is becoming more popular, right?
Yeah.
And well, of course, if your objective is to sponsor a team, like I don't know, what in the polo world is known to be a patron, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
You need a very solid financial situation, to say the least.
Yeah.
But but if you don't need to be a millionaire in order just to play, right?
No.
So what's the best thing people can do just to get a taste of polo in a safely manner and see if they like it?
Well, there are different ways of approaching, of course. The best way is probably to find out if you have some polo school nearby. If not, come to Hamburg, of course.
Yeah.
And see if you can take part in a clinic for a weekend, like sort of to get to know the game, the sport, what it all means, the rules, the whole thing set up with the horses, and that'll give you a very objective view of the game and what it's all about. And then you can decide after that if you really like to pick up the sport or not.
So it wouldn't be a good idea just to catch whatever horse you have on your hand and try, right?
Well, you could. The thing is, those horses probably will not be very comfortable with the stick, and that might be a problem when you're getting onto them.
I stressed this safely manner part in the previous question because, polo can be pretty rough and even dangerous when played professionally, like you do. But is it really that risky to play polo when you are doing it recreationally? Like, is it riskier than, I don't know, show jumping or skiing or surfing? Or
no, I think it's probably about the same sort of style then, or risk you have, because if you just like if you take your horse and go riding in the beautiful countryside of Spain or wherever in the world, or in Argentina, you'll be riding around and you can do the same sort of thing with that same horse, just with a stick in your hand on a nice cut field and hit some balls around. That's not going to be very risky, and it's going to be a lot of fun because you have an achievement, you have an aim, you're hitting the ball, you're trying to maybe just put it somewhere special, or practicing different shots. So that's an easy way of starting the game, and it's going to be a very risk-less way of starting of riding around too.
Tell me about what you do here, the Win PoloSchule here in Hamburg, because I see a lot of people, a lot of young people, a lot of kids around. What is it that you do here exactly?
We do a lot of teaching. The school is. We've been doing it for a long time now, and my aim is to get in possibly the young people very early. So the young kids and growing up youth coming here, start early, riding early, learning the game early. Of course, because of that, they learn very fast, very quickly. They get to become good players. Some of the guys who come through here now, within the 10 best in Germany, 7 have been through our school. Wow. So we're quite proud of that, of the young guys. And a lot of other people come here too, like guys who want to be patrons who want to get better, want to learn more, or even people who are just sort of entering the game, want to find out how it is, if there's a game which they can consider picking up and taking care of in future with the horses and things like that. So it's we collect everybody who is interested in polo, if they ride or not, and put them together and try and make a good polo player out of them.
And have fun on the way,
Or have fun all the way, for sure.
Where do you see polo heading in the following years? Do you think this trend of increasing popularity will continue? Yeah,
I think so, because there are not many sports left which have a sort of an exclusive surrounding like polo now. It used to be golf, it used to be tennis. They will become very popular sports now, very mass orientated. And that's going to be something which is going to be difficult because you have the horse inside the game. So it's not going to be never. I don't think it's ever going to be a really mass game to play, but it's going to be more popular, and there's lots of people coming in, and also a lot of people who just do it for
recreational reasons,
to enjoy, just not hacking out anymore, just in the woods, but doing something while you're doing it with your horse, and combining the thing is like a lot of fun, and you get more out of it.
It's true. Thomas, what's up with the Argentinians? I mean, it makes sense that the general level of players there be high, because you have the Pampa, is the perfect conditions for breeding and for playing. But just the quality and quantity of players is just overwhelming down there. What's going on?
It's amazing, because I think what happened is that often things develop very specially and very much, and where the resources are very good. So you have like a niche in Argentina. The rest of the world doesn't have a pampa, doesn't have wild gauchos riding around with lassos, herding up the cattle, and so they just swapped basically the lasso to the polo stick, and they could start playing because the pampa was very flat. They just cut up some grass, and they had the horses there also. So the type of horses you needed, the very stamina, good, in the head, very clear horses, the criollos. So it was not a far way for them to go to polo from there. Which they used. Then they started breeding with the thoroughbreds, and then they had suddenly a very good horse for polo. And it just developed crazily because they're all in the countryside. They had nothing to do with the patrons.
So they mixed the Criollo horse with the thoroughbreds, right?
And they made that made a very good breed for polo, and because they had the time and the place to do it, I think it just developed immensely quickly past everybody else in the rest of the world.
So polo down there is like surfing in Hawaii or football in Germany. I don't know.
Something, but very big for sure, bigger than anywhere else in the world compared to population. And of course, in the polo world, I mean, Argentina is now known as the nation for polo sports, as it is.
And talking about breeding, I mean, it is down there in Argentina that most of the best horses are being bred right now, but things are changing here in Germany too, right? Tell me about the German polo horse.
We have started breeding our own horses here. Obviously, the basic was Argentine blood. So we brought over some good mares, which we played, and we realized that we can keep them here. And we brought over 1 or 2 really nice stallions too from the Higgies and stuff, and which we started breeding with them. So now we have a sort of a German polo breed of own horses. Population is growing, and we have the first like 6, 7 years old now playing tournaments.
And doing well.
They're doing really well. So we're very, very happy about that, and we have all the breeding associations behind us, which are very happy that we're doing it. And the sort of North and South Germany are basically the main places, but North Germany is now the biggest place for breeding polo ponies in Germany.
Nice. So getting better.
It's a lot of fun also. It's very enjoyable to see them grow up.
And talking about breeding, if you had this 3D biological printer and you could just print the perfect polo pony, the perfect polo horse, how would it be? Like morphologically and psychologically, this horse?
Well, it would be beautiful, of course.
Important.
I love black horses, dark horses, brown horses, things like that. Also a pinto, but I mean, apart from that, they would have a perfect body shape with a little higher in the back. Good withers, nice clear eye, a beautiful neck formed with a beautiful head at the top of it. I would say it's got not too long legs, not too long back. Compact horse, very good proportions. Very easy to move left and right, easy to stop, accelerates quickly,
Okay.
It has a very clear head, which will do everything you want without thinking about it. Very obeytive to the rider.
Keeping cool under fire.
Keeping always cool, always cool, and even under fire, going flat out and coming back and relaxing immediately. That's sort of the type of horse I would print.
All right. What about the perfect polo player? How? I mean, what does it take to be very good at this sport?
Well, you have to be. There's no doubt that you have to have some sort of a basic physical strength. I mean, you have to be fit because it's a long game. If you're playing in Argentina, it's 6 chuckers, sometimes 8 chuckers on the highest level. Europe, it's normally 4 chuggers, but even 4 chuggers is physically you have to be really fit to do that.
Okay.
You have to have mentally you have to be quite clear in your head. You have to understand the rules, which are very complicated in polo sometimes.
Okay.
You have to be a good team player. You have to have overview. You have to know how to hit a ball.
Those are lots of qualities, though.
not missing, of course. You have to be able to ride properly. So put that all together and you have a really good polo player.
And that makes a good polo player. Huh? Wow. If neither polo nor horses existed, what would Thomas Winter do in life?
I'd probably be very bored, first of all.
Very bored and sad, right?
Very sad. But if I wouldn't know that, probably I don't know. I'd probably be in business. I did a beautiful thing. I was in the development business before I became professional polo player, and that was I enjoyed that a lot. Organizing things, talking to people, being outside, inside the office. That was something which I really enjoyed before I got to polo playing professionally.
When you're in a cocktail party and people ask you what do you do, how do you answer that?
Well, it depends on what sort of cocktail party it is.
Okay.
But of course, at the end of the day, I'm a professional rider, a professional polo player, so it boils down to that. But I sort of go around it carefully, but to start off with, to find out how the interest is of the guy asking or the woman. But then at the end, of course, it's always fun talking about it, and everybody's very interested at the end of the day. So it's
okay. Tell me about how you get things done, Thomas, because I mean you are a very, very busy person. You run this place, you are the head instructor here, you play internationally all over the world. I mean, you do tons of things. Do you have habits or rituals that help you, I don't know, be more productive, effective, being centered in what you have to do? And
well, I have one thing but everybody hates me for that. I have a lot of little pieces of paper hanging around in my office.
All right,
so I put everything I have to do, or I think about, or I have an idea. I always have to note it. I'm a very visual person.
Okay.
I can't keep it in mind, or I can, but it gets lost within the 2 days.
Okay.
So I have to write it down, and once it's written down, I have it in my hand. But I also have the backup of on the paper. So that's something that helps me a lot, because I have to do the yard, I have to do the school, I have to play myself professionally, I have to get my horses organized, and the school horses. So it's a lot of facets I have to take care of, and so that I don't forget something. I think that's helped me a lot throughout the years. Everybody around me who helps me in this business is a bit worried with all my papers, but the chaos, I'm there.
Yeah, but it works.
It works. It works very well.
And on that note, is there any habit that you don't like that you have that you're trying to get rid of, or that you're trying to quit?
I think probably also my wife is very annoyed about me for that. I just can't say no.
Okay.
So if somebody comes up and says, can you help me here? Can you do this for me? Or can you check this? Or can you find a horse? I mean, I'm always like, yeah, of course I can do that, no problem. And that's to say no is really difficult for me.
Yeah, that's really a widespread problem, I think. Yeah.
Especially in my business.
Yeah. What is the best piece of advice that you have ever received? Could be anything. Personal, polo, business, whatever.
I think it works for a lot of subjects. A friend of mine once told me in a match we were playing, and things were not going very well. Yeah. And we sort of screwed up a bit. Yeah. And it said he said me a very wise thing, and it was losing is learning, winning is earning. Yeah. And that you can put in all sorts of different aspects of life, and I think that's helped me a lot through different things, because you just, even if something goes wrong, you can learn out of it and do it better for the next time, and then you start winning again. So
it's true.
That was that helped me a lot.
Right. When you hear the word successful, what person comes to mind, Thomas?
For me, a very good friend of mine, Albert Daboven, who's the boss of ID Cafe in Germany. Okay. And he's I played some polo with him for 15 years, and for me, he's like the guy I would, if I wanted to look up to somebody, or see somebody, I think that would be him.
Really? And is there any historical figure that you admire, or any, I don't know, person that you look up to, or whatever?
I really admire one of the best polo players in the world, who at the end of 50 managed to get to 10 goals again.
Really?
Winning the Open. Mariano
What's his name?
Mariano Aguirre, that was really fun to see that. He won the Open with the Perez brothers, and managed to achieve his handicap 10, which he had before. Yeah. Again, with the sort of end of 40s, beginning of 50s, which was for me a big
Been a 10-goal player again.
Yeah. Great thing to see happen.
Has there been any book or film or documentary in your life that has impacted or has changed the way you see life?
Yes, I I read a book and I went to meet the guy and did a clinic with him. Not Reggie Ludwig, sorry, Monty Roberts.
Monty Roberts.
He wrote a book about horsemanship and stuff, and I went and worked with him for a week and for 2 weeks in California.
Yeah.
And that has changed the way I sort of see horses, see the way to treat horses, and also part of the way how you sort of see people in life and how they, you can also. I've learned to get along with mistakes much better and much easier than before. So that's helped me a lot, and this book has also done a lot of work for me.
And what are you most grateful for in life, Thomas?
Well, now that it's just happened, now. I would say probably the most grateful thing is my daughter Tony, who was just born, and that is the most amazing thing that's ever happened to me.
Wow, great,
fantastic.
And the very last question: if you could pick up the phone, have a short conversation with a 20-year-old Thomas Winter, what would you tell him?
Well, that's a good one. I'd say, first thing I'd say. I would say that don't change much because it's done very well up to now for you. And keep going what you're thinking about, do it. And I would probably just give him one more advice for the 20-year-old guy, because at that time I had big discussions with my dad about being a professional polo player or not. It took me another 30 years to become one. I would tell him now, do it.
Just go ahead. Right?
Go ahead and start with 20, not with 30.
Yeah, okay.
Give you more chances.
Thomas, thank you very much. It's been a great pleasure to have you on the show. Thank you. And wish you the best. Good luck.
Thanks a lot. It was a pleasure talking to you.
Yeah, thanks.
So fun.